They saw Trump killing it with the crowd. Then you come to a panel of 6 people who all just do nothing but dump on him and call him a liar. And America goes, oh, didn't you just see that we like him?
Bill Maher seems to be getting red-pilled about a lot of different situations, even though he's still very much blue-pilled. He's still very much brainwashed on a lot of different topics. It seems like on some things, whenever you have at least a hint of common sense within your brain and you're part of the woke cult, you just start to wake up on certain things. And Bill Maher is definitely starting to wake up. This is a clip here from Bill Maher's own podcast where he goes off on this other woke lunatic that is a guest. I'm sorry, I don't know what her name is. And to be honest with you, I don't really care that much. But let me know in the comments if you do know who this is. This person tweeted out, Gary D tweeted this out, says, "Good morning, X world. Bill Maher gets it about the media and Trump. Just maybe they should listen to him." So let's check out this clip here from Bill Maher, just absolutely destroying this woke lunatic who is his guest on his podcast, Club Random, talking about Donald Trump. And she just cannot handle the fact that Bill Maher is dropping red pill after red pill about Donald Trump. Let's check this out.
Remember the town hall he had on CNN about 6 months ago, and the audience loved it. The audience loved it. I mean, you can hate
it. Was stacked with Trump supporters.
Well, they said Republicans and independents. That's what they said. Okay, maybe it was. How'd they get in? If they did, that's on CNN.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is on CNN, and the vetting process was...
Well, then you got to get a better audience person.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the person who handed the gun to Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
You know, got to get good people in all these positions.
I agree.
Okay, so if that was about whatever, if it was, here's what happened. Here's what people saw.
I mean, what they're talking about is CNN. If they were going to skew the audience purposefully in one direction, it would be against Donald Trump. It was CNN. It was a CNN town hall, I believe they're talking about. And you can tell that this lady right here does not like anything that she's hearing out of Bill Maher's mouth right here. You can tell. She's agreeing with him, but reluctantly, just to keep the conversation going, because she knows if you're too woke for Bill Maher, something is wrong with you. If Bill Maher is able to accept a certain truth that you can't accept because your brain is too brainwashed, it's too woke to accept it, there is something wrong. And she's probably coming to that realization right now as Bill Maher is dropping these red pills.
On America. They saw Trump killing it with the crowd. Then you come to a panel of 6 people who all just do nothing but dump on him and call him a liar. And America goes, oh, didn't you just see that we like him? And
he's
now,
not a stand-up comedian.
What?
He's killing it. He's not a stand-up comedian.
No, but popularity doesn't matter. The people loved him and what he was saying. And then you cut to a panel of 6 know-it-alls in Washington who just do nothing but talk about the negative. And I'm all in on the negative. No one's been harder on Trump than me. But I get it, and I'm bored with it. And there's a different way to do this, I think, which
what is it?
Is not to defend Trump, but to defend the people who still vote for him, because what they see on the other side, to them, is even more dangerous. Because it's very closer to home. My kid is coming home from school, and he thinks he's...
Yeah, bro, it's... How is this not obvious to everyone? The reason why you don't vote for someone like Joe Biden is because you don't want the country in a state like it is currently. You don't want the globe in a state like it is currently. So obviously, the difference between the two, and obviously if you're on the left, you're just going to say that I'm super biased when I say this, but the difference between the two is that, yeah, we're obviously not voting for the other side because we don't want the country to be in a state that the other side will force the country into, or the globe, you know? And the difference between the two is the people who vote for Joe Biden because they say, and nobody votes for Joe. I refuse to believe anyone votes for Joe Biden because they believe in Joe Biden as a president, as a person. There's just no way. I refuse to believe it. Everyone who votes for Joe Biden talks about how they're so terrified of what will happen if Donald Trump takes the presidency. Well, we already saw what happened when Donald Trump takes the presidency. There wasn't many wars going on. There weren't many people attacking foreign countries, attacking our allies. There wasn't many problems with the economy until CV-19 happened. You know, everything was looking great. The country was just in an overall better place for everyone when Trump was in office, and I don't think you can really refute that. Obviously, there's going to be people who will try to, like Destiny and probably like Bill Maher. But what Bill Maher is saying is like, Well, they see the danger of what happens whenever the other side wins. It's like, yeah, obviously we see that. The only difference is you're talking about hypothetical dangers and we're talking about actual things that happened. You're talking about, oh, the danger of Trump gets in office. He might have some mean tweets and he might say some things that just make people mad. And it's like, okay, the alternative is we have war in the Middle East. That wasn't happening when Trump was, well, not at this scale. It wasn't happening when Trump was in office. We have Russia invading Ukraine. That wasn't happening when Trump was in office. We have the economy in the toilet, inflation through the roof. It wasn't happening when Trump was in office. So all these things, the border crisis, not to mention, all these things not happening when Trump was in office that we just saw a few years ago. And now we have them happening in real time while Trump is not in office and Biden is. So you're talking about mean tweets and hypothetical things that Donald Trump could possibly say in the future, maybe. And that's why you're so terrified of Donald Trump taking office again. We're voting on the basis of what happened last time and what is happening currently. It's not that difficult to understand.
He's a racist. He's 5. What have you been telling him? You know, my son thinks maybe he's not a boy, and maybe that's true. That happens. But, you know, those kind are what they say. That's why I'm voting for Trump. A
backlash to the pendulum swinging so far to the
conservative guy
left.
once said to me, "What you don't get."
That is not what it is. Like, these people are, they're lost. It's not, we're not voting a certain way because we want the pendulum to swing a certain way. We're voting a certain way because we're tired of the nonsense. You know, we're tired of what Bill Maher is talking about right here. My son thinks he's not a boy. And you know, it's just like all these things are being pushed to the children that are in schools. It's like, just tired of it, dude. It's not about like when I'm deciding who I'm voting for, I'm not imagining a magical pendulum swinging a certain direction. Like, yeah, that might be happening. It's no fault but your own. It's no fault but people like Bill Maher and Whoopi Goldberg and Destiny and these other weirdos. It's no one's fault but them. Like, just voting to stop the madness. Like, that's all it is.
Forget about Trump is we don't like him either. Now, that's not true for all people. There are people who just love his dirty draws, and they are dirty. But lots of people, it's like that. We don't like him, but he's all that stands between us and madness. That's their view.
So
I would like that view presented.
So what Bill Maher said at the end there is kind of true. I don't think Donald Trump is the only one that stands between us and madness. I think that most Republican candidates, you know, I think Vivek Ramaswamy would have also stood between us and madness, and everybody except for someone who's a woke lunatic would stand between us. I mean, even though I don't agree with a lot of the things that the guy supports, you know, like, you know, he's not pro-life, he's pro-gun laws and things like that, but even RFK would stand between us and madness, I think, you know, for the most part. So it's not just, for me at least, and let me know in the comments if you disagree. For me, it's not that Donald Trump is the only one. He's the Messiah that can save us from the world of madness. I don't think it's that at all. It's just he happens to be the one that is the most popular. He happens to be the presidential candidate for the party that seems to be standing against the madness. And let me know if you disagree. But it's crazy how Bill Maher can be so red-pilled on certain topics like this when it comes to Donald Trump. And then he also has takes like this.
You know, that's why I don't understand the 15-week thing. Or Trump's plan is, let's leave it to the states. You mean, so killing babies is okay in some states? Like, I can respect the absolutist position. I really can. I scold the left on when they say, oh, you know what? They just hate women. People who aren't pro-life, pro-choice. They don't hate women. They just made that up. They think it's murder. And it kind of is. I'm just okay with that. I am. I mean,
absolutely insane. Like, I've heard him actually say this before, but not on his Real Time with Bill Maher show. He said that in his podcast, I think with Jillian Michaels or someone, but just absolutely nuts that Bill Maher is open about being okay with literally murdering babies. Like, does he not understand how insane this makes him sound? And once again, let's replay this. Listen to the audience's reaction, right? Like, when the lady was talking, they started applauding. Like, they're there and they're vocal, but they are stunned whenever Bill Maher says that on live television.
I think it's murder, and it kind of is. I'm just okay with that. I am. I mean,
absolutely silent.
There's 8 billion people in the world. I'm sorry, we won't miss you. That's my position on that. What?
That's quite harsh, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
Is
sure
that not your position if you're pro-choice?
Isn't that mainly because you don't like children? I mean,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
no. I mean, But if you are, you said you're pro-choice. That's your position too.
No, it's not. I mean, I would hope it's not. I would hope that these people like Piers Morgan and all the other like wokies that, you know, are pro-abortion, I would hope they don't all think it's murder. I would hope that they're just misled and they think that it's not. But maybe this is just the leftist opinion that Bill Maher accidentally said out loud. Like maybe they all do think it is just killing babies and they're cool with it. It's like him saying, Bill Maher saying that we won't miss you because there's 8 billion people in the world. I mean, that's not really the point. Like, obviously, we're not missing all the people that die every day. Like, we're not missing them, but to not even give an innocent child the chance to live, who knows what they would do for the world? And who cares if they do anything for the world at all? They should still have the opportunity to live, in my opinion. That is an insane statement. Anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments about this Bill Maher clip. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hope to see you guys on the next one.